Cybersecurity weaknesses of electric vehicles. Introduction. The electric car revolution is still in its infancy, but it's already providing some interesting insights into how technology can change our lives. Electric cars are becoming increasingly important as they have many advantages over traditional vehicles. For example, they don't emit any carbon emissions and they're easier to recharge than gas-powered cars. However, there may be cybersecurity weaknesses that hackers could exploit if they get their hands on an electric car's data systems. Cybersecurity weaknesses of electric vehicles. Cybersecurity weaknesses of electric vehicles. Electric cars may have cybersecurity vulnerabilities that can be exploited by hackers. The experiment was simulated, but shows how cybersecurity weaknesses can be exploited to gain access to artificial intelligence systems inside a car. Researchers from the University of Birmingham in England have detected weaknesses in the electronic chips that run new electric cars. Researchers from the University of Birmingham in England have detected weaknesses in the electronic chips that run new electric vehicles. The researchers tested for leading electric vehicle models in Europe: BMW i3, Nissan Leaf, Tesla Model S and Renault Zoe. The results show that these cars are vulnerable to attack by hackers who can access them remotely via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connections and change their settings to interfere with safety functions such as brakes or steering assist systems. The researchers tested for leading electric vehicle models in Europe: BMW i3, Nissan Leaf, Tesla Model S, and Renault Zoe. The researchers tested for leading electric vehicle models in Europe: BMW i3, Nissan Leaf, Tesla Model S and Renault Zoe. They found that all the vehicles contain security vulnerabilities in the electronic chips used to run new cars. These electronic chips are often made by companies like Intel and Samsung. They're also called microcontrollers, or MCUs, pronounced MECs. These devices have been around since at least 1980s but have evolved over time into more complex systems with more features like wireless connectivity or GPS navigation capability. However, they're still very similar pieces of hardware that can be hacked easily if you know what you're doing, which is why it's so important for consumers to make informed decisions when purchasing these products. Their findings found that hackers can exploit security vulnerabilities on electronic chips by controlling a car's systems and locking drivers out of the vehicle. The researchers found that hackers can exploit security vulnerabilities on electronic chips by controlling a car's systems and locking drivers out of the vehicle. This can be done in two ways. By sending malicious signals to control the vehicle, they can cause crashes or other problems with its operation. By stealing data from within the vehicle's memory, they could steal personal information about drivers and passengers, such as their social security numbers. Although the experiment was simulated, it shows how cybersecurity weaknesses can be exploited to gain access to artificial intelligence systems inside a car. The researchers' experiment was simulated, but it shows how cybersecurity weaknesses can be exploited to gain access to artificial intelligence systems inside a car. In the study, published in IEEE Transactions on Computational Intelligence and AI in Games, IEEE TCAI, researchers from University of Birmingham, UK, and University of California Riverside, USA, showed how they could unlock an electric vehicle by manipulating its electronic systems via radio frequency signals and then locked out the driver from her own vehicle. The research also demonstrates how cybersecurity weaknesses can be exploited to gain access to artificial intelligence systems inside a car. Vehicles are becoming increasingly reliant on connected technologies and artificial intelligence. The ability for vehicles to connect to the internet is growing. This can be used for many things, including software updates that keep your car up to date with safety features and performance improvements. Accessing information on charging stations in order to find one closer to where you're going and avoid long trips if possible. This feature has been implemented in some vehicles. This means that hackers could exploit these vulnerabilities to crash cars, steal data, and create targeted attacks. This means that hackers could exploit these vulnerabilities to crash cars, steal data, and create targeted attacks. A targeted attack is one that targets a specific person or organization, which is why it's important for you to know how to protect your car from cyber attacks. As more electric cars enter the market, more security measures need to be implemented so that these vehicles are not vulnerable to theft and hacking. The more electric cars enter the market, the more security measures need to be implemented so that these vehicles are not vulnerable to theft and hacking. In addition, it's important that cybersecurity experts be involved in any government-mandated safety standards for new cars. For example, California has passed legislation requiring that all new vehicles must have automatic braking systems by 2022. However, there is currently no clear consensus on how an auto manufacturer should implement this feature in its vehicles, and whether or not it should be optional at all, meaning consumers can choose whether or not they want their vehicle equipped with this feature. This lack of clarity could make it difficult for consumers who want their cars equipped with automatic braking technology but don't want them installed as standard equipment due to concerns about having too many options available on their purchase decision process. Electric cars may have cybersecurity weaknesses that can be exploited by hackers. It is not only electric cars that are vulnerable to cyber attacks. Electric cars are becoming increasingly reliant on connected technologies, such as smart charging, navigation systems and vehicle-to-vehicle (V2V) communication. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, estimates that over 1 million vehicles will be equipped with V2V technology by 2020. This could potentially allow hackers access to a much larger network of vehicles than ever before. The NHTSA has issued guidance for manufacturers about how to address potential vulnerabilities in their vehicles' cybersecurity systems. Make sure you have good encryption on your system so it's not easy for someone else to read what's going on inside it. *, use strong passwords. *, don't use default settings unless absolutely necessary. *, be aware of what software updates might affect your system. Conclusion. The researchers could take control of the car's systems and unlock it using a remote control. They found that they were able to unlock Tesla Model S, BMW i3, and Nissan Leaf. The Renault Zoe was not affected by the attack because its security system is based on biometric authentication rather than a SIM card.